1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Friha Hassan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says the government plans to build a health system that will ensure basic health facility across the country. Naval Chief says Pakistan's armed forces are fully prepared to deal with any misadventure. Gilgit-Baltistan government has approved the risk allowance for the employees of health department serving in the region. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youth in Shopian district today. In Afghanistan, 2 policemen were killed in separate sticky bombs explosion in Kabul today. On the opening day of first cricket test match at Mount Maunganui against Pakistan, New Zealand in their first innings were 222 for 3 at stumps. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government plans to build a health system that will ensure basic health facility across the country. He was addressing a ceremony in Chakwal today after performing the groundbreaking of various development projects, including Chakwal University, a 500-bed hospital, a law college, and the Ring Road. The Prime Minister said government will ensure universal health coverage in Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa by the end of next year under the health card scheme. The Prime Minister said by next year, every family in Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa will have health card, enabling them to get free medical treatment up to 1 million rupees in any hospital of the country. He said private sector is being encouraged and facilitated to establish hospitals in the country, underlining the importance of education for overall development of the country. Imran Khan said the government plans for the coming generations focuses on education. He said the country will grow fast if its youth is equipped with education and technological skills. Prime Minister said his government is reducing the debt burden of the country and has achieved a major milestone in this regard. He said for the first time in last 17 years, country's current account has been in surplus consecutively the last 5 months. He said similarly, the fiscal deficit is also being controlled. The Prime Minister vowed to make the government's Ehsaas program the best poverty alleviation program in the world. He said he is going to launch another program aimed at ensuring that no citizen sleeps hungry. Imran Khan said a revolutionary local government system will be introduced to empower the people at grassroots level. Alluding to the opposition, he said the Pakistan Democratic Movement is undermining the country by targeting the institutions in their speeches. Prime Minister regretted that the language being used by the opposition leaders is same to that of the Indian propaganda machine against Pakistan. Naval Chief Admiral Amjad Khan Niazi says Pakistan's armed forces are well aware of all sorts of nefarious designs of enemy and fully prepared to deal with them. Addressing the 114th Midshipman Passing Out Parade at Pakistan Naval Academy in Karachi today, the Naval Chief said Pakistan is a peaceful country and desires friendly relations with its neighbors. However, he said our desire for peace should not be construed as weakness. Admiral Amjad Khan Niazi said Pakistan Navy, armed with its modern equipment, is present and alert in the regional and international waters. The commissioning parade comprised 120 Pakistani officers and 62 others from friendly countries. 63 more deaths due to coronavirus infection and 2,260 new positive cases were reported in the country during the last 24 hours. According to the National Command and Operations Center, death toll in the country has reached 9,816. The government of Gilgit-Baltistan has approved the risk allowance for the 4,200 employees of health department serving in the region. Gilgit-Baltistan Finance Department has issued notification in this regard. According to notification, 3,445 employees from grade 1 to 16 will get 12,557 employees from grade 17 and above will get 24,000 rupees monthly as risk allowance. The European Union began a vaccine rollout against COVID-19 today, while many countries in the bloc have been forced back into lockdown by a new strain of the virus. The new strain, which experts fear is more contagious, prompted more than 50 countries to impose travel restrictions on the UK, where it first emerged. The pandemic has claimed more than 1.7 million lives and is still running rampant in many countries of the world. The 13th death anniversary of former Prime Minister of Pakistan Shaheed Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto will be observed tomorrow. In this connection, Chief Minister Sindh Syed Murad Ali Shah reached Gadi Khuda Bakhsh Bhutto in Larkana today to review security arrangements for the anniversary. This is Radio Pakistan. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 Kashmiri youth in Shopaiya district today. The troops martyred the youth during a cordon and search operation in Kanigam area of the district. Earlier, 2 Indian troops were injured in an attack in the same area. Meanwhile, the Hurriyat Forum, led by Mir Wais Umar Farooq, in a statement in Srinagar said that Indian troops are committing the worst kind of human rights violations in the occupied territory to suppress the Kashmiris' freedom struggle. It condemned the coercive and arbitrary arrests and detention of Hurriyat leaders, activists, and youth by Indian police across the Kashmir Valley. On the other hand, the occupation authorities, through an order, once again extended the ban on high-speed internet service till 8th January 2021. The 4G internet service remains suspended in IIOJ case since 5th August 2019, when Narendra Modi-led fascist Indian government repealed the special status of the territory and placed it under strict military siege. Tehreek-e-Istiqlal Jammu and Kashmir held a rally in Muzaffarabad today against Narendra Modi government's attempts to change the demography of IIOJK. In India, protest of farmers against unjust agriculture laws imposed by the Modi regime has entered second month. Thousands of farmers from Punjab and Haryana states continue to stay sit-in at the outskirts of capital Delhi under open sky and braving severe cold conditions. They are insisting for repeal of laws and refuse to further negotiations with government. Meanwhile, a group of 7 influential U.S. lawmakers have written to the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, urging him to raise the issue of farmers' protest in India with his Indian counterpart. In Afghanistan, 2 policemen were killed and 6 others injured in 3 separate sticky bombs explosion in Kabul today. Police spokesman Firdaus Faramers told reporters that the policemen were killed when the bomb attached to their vehicle exploded in a central district of Kabul. Saudi Arabia's King Salman has formally invited leaders of Gulf Cooperation Council member states for the 41st Group Summit being held in Riyadh on 5th of next month. The 6 member states include Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Kuwait. 3 UN peacekeepers from Burundi have been killed in the Central African Republic in an attack of anti-government militants. The UN said unidentified combatants carried out 2 attacks, leaving 2 other peacekeepers injured. The UN group is stationed in Kar to quell violence ahead of presidential and parliamentary elections tomorrow. And now, cricket. On the opening day of first cricket test match at Mount Maunganui against Pakistan, New Zealand in their first innings were 222 for 3 at stumps. Earlier, Pakistan won the toss and elected to field. And finally, the weather. Rain with snowfall over hills is expected in Gilgit-Baltistan, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper and Central Punjab, Islamabad and Kashmir during the next 12 hours. Cold and dry weather is expected in Central and lower parts of the country. To end the news, here once again are a few of the headlines. Prime Minister says the government plans to build a health system that will ensure basic health facility across the country. Naval Chief says Pakistan's armed forces are fully prepared to deal with any misadventure. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.